Brian, what's your assessment of that game tonight?
Yeah, good. I thought it was good, and a good reaction to our loss against Widnes. It's been a long time since we've played, given that the game was called off last week. So I wasn't quite sure what we'd be like. It's a funny one to have so long off, so early in the season. I thought it was a good contest in the main. I thought even though Hull lacked some strike players, I still thought they challenged us, and ultimately I thought our defence got us it. I thought we were very strong defensively. I didn't think we were too far off in attack either. I thought we looked pretty slick in attack.
You mentioned the defence. I mean, in the last quarter of both halves, Hull threw everything at you, but more often than not you had the answers, which at this stage of the year, I mean, for the defence to be so strong, it must be really encouraged and satisfied by that.
Well, I'd reverse how you're going to ask that question. I think at this stage of the year, you've got to be that strong. I don't think there's any excuses saying, well, we're warming up. I think you can use that bit of a cushion sometimes in attack. You can say, well, we're warming up in attack, but defensively you're going to hit the ground running. Maybe as the year draws on, you start to get a bit tired and raggedy, but yeah, pretty proud of how many times we held them up and defended some pretty strong carries. They're a strong ball carrying team, Hull, and they probably lacked a little bit of strike there. You know, Albert Kelly in particular not playing, so you know we got away with that one. But at the same time, I thought we was good value for the win.
Lee Radford said that his side just couldn't handle you in the first 20 minutes, and he'd warned them that you would come flying out of the blocks. Was it part of the plan to come out as strong as you did in the opening quarter?
Not in particular, but then obviously we're playing at home, and you know we got beat in the last game we played, and you know we're so keen to get back to Headingley. It's our first game at Headingley, so you know our attitude was great, and I think most home teams will start like that. I think most home teams will start big, and I thought we were pretty clinical to start with, without being perfect. I thought we were pretty clinical. Our completion rates were very good, although we rarely talk about that, but we you know, we used the ball, yet we still completed very high. So when you can strike that combination, you're okay.
You caused a lot of damage down the right flank, 4 tries down there. How pleased were you with that combination, and not just going forward, but in defence as
well? Yeah, I think Richie Myler, you know, and he's having a good influence over us. I thought some of his early kicks were good. Him and Mooney seemed to work really well. But Richie Myler's starting to strike up some on-field relationships now with some players, which is going to take time, but certainly the ball he threw to Cal, you know, we'll see that again in the next few weeks. He's having a good influence over us, but you know, Callum and Tom both, you know, especially in D, you know, that right side in defence was great. Early in the season, you're still working on those combinations and some of that type of stuff, but yeah, it was good.
Are you satisfied with where you are at this stage of the year, performance-wise?
It's you that always ask that question, isn't it?
I don't know.
You always ask that same question. Am I satisfied with where we are? You're asking a coach who's never satisfied with anything he sees. So no, because we got beat by Widnes, and I thought we should have beat Widnes. But we've played 4 games. Played 5 games, one of them being a World Cup challenge. So I think we're in good shape at the moment, and you know we're looking forward to the next few weeks.
What did you make of the new look surroundings of Headingley? This was a one-off, I suppose. It's a work in progress. Is that good? Can I say that? It's a work in progress, which that phrase works on so many different levels, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It does. It's a construction site. Did you like? I mean, you were in the stand that we were. What do you think of the atmosphere?
Well, it's got. Yeah, I think if I'm going to coach the crowd, dare I coach the crowd? I think there's some improvement there. They were good. I thought the game, certainly in the second half, they started to get. When there was a fear we might lose the game, they started to get a bit lively, and it's going to take time. It's weird, and as I was saying in the build-up, we've spent the last few games without a south stand, just looking over to Mrs. Robinson's front room. and that was hard. That was really hard to try and generate some atmosphere, you know, between ourselves, and the crowd struggled because they was in different ends. But for a first attempt, I thought it was good. I thought the crowd was good, and certainly towards the back end, it'll get better than that. You know, and towards the back end of the year, when the south stand's complete, you know, then it will become a fortress. But if I spoke to you for an hour, I wouldn't even touch on how much work has gone on to try and make this work. You know, the ground's under construction, both ends are being rebuilt, and we're getting changed in different training rooms. There's no toilets, there's no walkway, there's that much that the people who are in charge of it, you know, headed up by Sue Ward, there's that much that they've had to cover off. It's just an incredible list of things they've got to knock off to be able just to even host a game here. So, you know, so for us to go out and play a game of rugby league, you know, I feel a bit humble really. We just go out and play our sport.
Francis Cummins was saying that the way that you entered the field from those from dugouts was old school really. Come past the fans, and he said it was like what he remembers it being like as a kid. Did you get to experience that tonight, coming through all that?
Yeah, and we won.
But did you like it?
It's when we lose, isn't it? That's the thing.
Yeah.
It was all right. It was all right. I mean, it's a bit of a different route, and I think it'll work. I was a bit hesitant about it, but I think it's going to work. It could be good. A bit of a change. And you know, we are. If this is what we've got to go through to get what the completed article is going to be, which is going to be amazing. You know, the south stand's already looking very imposing. The north stand's going to be even bigger. It's going to be an amazing conclusion to all the construction. If this is what we've got to go through, I think this is good as well.
3 big stints from Mitch Garbutt tonight were quite important.
For sure. You know, he certainly added some punch. You know, and his second spell that he came on, he really put some dents in Hull there. You can't play without your front rowers, can you? You know, we learnt that at Melbourne. You know, we can have all sorts of plans, but you've got to have some big men in the middle to not only to carry the ball, but to soak up some of their attack as well. You know, so he was very good there tonight, Gabs. He was great against Widnes when he came back from. Gabs didn't train for Widnes. He had about a month off and didn't train at all. And he's telling me that's the way to go.
Yeah, he would.
He's telling me that, so I don't need to train coach. But you know, just interesting that first 20 minutes. People like Brad Singleton and Jamie Jones and Brett Delaney, Carl Ablett, they just get through so much. It's just very awkward work they get through. You know, Garbs carries it, and he's like this big grizzly bear that carries it, and he's pretty stand out, and especially when he skittles a bloke over on his backside. But the other 4 guys I've mentioned, you know, it's just some of that back-breaking work that you've got to get through to lay a platform so, you know, the Callums and Richie Milers and Moonies can go do their stuff.